release me. You have your trinket. I'm of no further value to you.
This is no trinket, Missy. This is cursed Aztec gold. One of 882 identical pieces they delivered in a stone chest to Cortez himself.
I hardly believe in ghost stories anymore, Captain Barbossa.
That's exactly what I thought. Buried on an island of dead, what cannot be found except for those who know where it is. Find it we did. There be the chest. Inside be the gold. And we took 'em all. We spent 'em and traded 'em and fritted 'em away on drink and food and pleasurable company. The more we gave 'em away, the more we came to realize the drink would not satisfy, and food turned to ash in our mouths. We are cursed men, Miss Turner. Compelled by greed we were, but now we are consumed by it.
How very sad for you.
There is one way we can end our curse. All the scattered pieces of the Aztec gold must be gathered and restored to the stone chest. And the blood of every soul who touched a piece of the treasure must be repaid. Miss Turner, for 10 years we've searched every league of these waters, every town and village, preying on sailors and settlers alike. 881 pieces we found, but despaired of ever finding the last. All those years, you've been safe in your bed, reading your pirate stories, dreaming of adventures in the high seas. We've endured torments worse than death itself. But now, thanks to ye, we have the final piece at last. When this medallion is restored to the chest, we'll be free to roam the seas as men. No longer will we be ghosts.
And the blood that's to be repaid?
That's why there's no sense to be killing you. Yet. You see, the moonlight shows us for what we really are. We're not among the living, and so we cannot die. But neither are we dead. I've suffered too long. You'd best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Turner. For you see, tonight, you're in one.
Oh man, I could go for a drink right now. Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to Kingdom Hearts 2. What we heard with Barbossa was pretty much him expositing the whole reason why Jeffrey Rush and his band of repeated pirate character models are really doing what they're doing. Anyway, welcome to the Interceptor, a ship we've commandeered because, as we're going to find out in a little bit, yeah, the reason why Captain Jack Daniels is looking for, or even bothering to go with us, apart from having like a sort of like older brotherly bond with Sora, to a certain extent, is primarily because he's looking for his ship, the Black Pearl, which, if I can correct a mistake from last time, yeah, I kind of got a bit of a fuck up with the movie titles. Curse of the Black Spot is not the title of the Pirates of the Caribbean movie. That was actually an episode of Doctor Who that I got it confused with. No, Curse of the Black Pearl, which is Jack's ship, and he's trying to get it back. Which is generally the only reason why he's really palling around with Sora and Will Turner. But of course, being a pirate, he ain't exactly trustworthy. But he's played by Johnny Depp, so fuck it. He'll be an entertaining figure for years to come, until he gets bored of the role, I suppose. But yeah, what the pirate ship really offers, you're not exactly going to be doing sea-to-sea combat. Well, relatively speaking, I mean, we're all going to be getting into some combat scenarios on board ship, but yeah, we're not exactly getting into any sort of like a Sly 3 style pirate ship battles. Kingdom Hearts 3 would later alleviate that, but for the time being, we pretty much only have 3 areas to choose from. Well, technically 2 at this point, but as you can see with the map here, 3 areas. One of which, I guess, technically includes the Interceptor out to sea. But yeah, whenever you travel to a new area, you'll be boarded by pirates. And again, as stated before, the same rules apply. If the pirates enter the shade and stay out of the moonlight, they're invincible. So basically, just try and lead them off onto the decks of the ship, and make sure that you can take them out pretty easily. And yes, this does happen pretty much every time you transition to a new area, so yeah, you're going to be getting into some combat scenarios with either pirates or Heartless. The Heartless don't function under those rules, so again, even if they do hide under the shade of the ship's sails or masts or whatever, again, you can pretty much take out the Heartless no problem. It's just the pirate-specific enemies that you gotta watch out for, because, well, you know, the curse of the Aztec gold, and all the food and drink that turn to ash in their lungs. But anyway, we got to go to the Isle del Muerto, where the last bit of the Aztec treasure is being held. Or at least pretty much where Barbossa and his crew are pretty much just trying to return all the gold pieces so they can finally become human again, and therefore become weak and vulnerable, and then die. But as we can see, the context behind this is a little bit more dastardly, and it seems to center around William Orlando Bloom. But again, like, I mean, a lot of this, I'd imagine is probably better covered in the movie, but, well, again, from my perspective, I haven't seen Curse of the Black Pearl, so who knows? I'm assuming a lot of the events play out relatively the same as they do sans Sora, Donald, and Goofy, but yeah, I don't know, I get the impression that some scenes might be a little bit more, heavy with the atmosphere than what we see here. And of course, since they don't seem to trust Sora, Donald, and Goofy, they're pretty much go to, oh no, we need to continue the Disney plot, stay here with your anime Square Enixy stuff, because you'd ruin everything. I mean, it does kind of, well actually no, because I mean there is like a degree of like, you know, the fantastical stuff going on with Pirates of the Caribbean, so yeah, like I mean, wouldn't Sora, Donald, and Goofy fit anyway? Yeah, well. I mean, if there's one thing I can actually say about the Kingdom Hearts 3 adaptation of, The World's End, I think, or was it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the Kingdom Hearts 3 version. Yeah, but they actually did a much better job of at least keeping Sora, Donald, and Goofy separate from the plot, and having them interact with the cast when needed, but around here it's pretty much just stay away till we can get shit done, really. But anyway, with Jack gone, it's now just the party good and proper. Yar har 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 har. Yar har har, we're pirates, all we do is yar har har. Yes, we love larfing.
Every last piece that went astray, we have returned, save for this. And now, the blood will be repaid to free us from this curse forever. Anyway, now that we're finally getting into the combat side of things, well actually I was looking around here for something that's meant to show up a little bit later, but yes, it seems the silhouette is absent. And in terms of abilities, actually, something that I forgot to mention right at the end of Disney Castle is a certain powerful ability that can actually kind of break the game in a few instances. Yes, we have a new magical ability. It's called Reflect. You probably would have seen it actually shown off a little bit beforehand during the earlier battles against the Pirates and Pete. But yeah, Reflect, basically how it works is that for a temporary, I'd say like about 2 or 3 seconds, Sora pretty much creates a barrier around himself, and if... oh, cutscene.
Quick, they're after us!
We'll hold them off. Give us a sign when the ship's ready to sail.
Right. We'll light the signal fire.
Anyway, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, and as we might be seeing here, yeah, basically Sora creates a barrier around himself for like 2 or 3 seconds, and again, if enemies hit his barrier, then basically the attack is reflected back onto them, and it can do some massive damage. And bear in mind, like the Final Fantasy Kingdom Hearts tradition, yeah, you also have 3 different levels of Reflect, so again, Reflector, Reflects... no, I can't remember, but basically, 3 different levels, and yeah, it does some pretty powerful damage. Thing of it is, though, and again, part of the reason why I don't really abuse Reflect as much as a lot of other players probably would in this scenario, is that, again, my timing can be a bit off, so again, if you don't get your Reflect timing just right, well, you're not exactly going to be dishing out any damage. So again, I guess, a benefit or a curse, really. I mean, you get more interesting combat scenarios when you're not spamming Reflect. But again, it also requires enemies to be in the radius area for it to take effect, so yeah. I'd say Reflect is probably better suited for, like, multiple opponent combat training. Well, combat training. Multiple opponent combat training. Ugh, fucking hell, I said the same thing twice. But yeah, you saw it in the slow-mo, and that's basically how it works.
The signal!
I gotta say, though, this scene is also rather bizarrely paced, because, I mean, we've seen that, Will and Elizabeth have clearly escaped, but I don't know why they saved this for later. I gather in the movie it was probably a little bit more linear in terms of how it was, constructed in terms of a narrative, but, time for a flashback.
And now, the blood will be repaid to free us from this curse forever. No, not yet. We wait for the opportune moment.
When it's of greatest profit to you?
May I ask you something? Have I ever given you reason not to trust me? Stay here, and try not to do anything stupid. Begone by blood undone. You, maid! Your father! Was your father William Turner?
No.
I don't understand.
What's going on?
Who brought this wench to us?
She said her name was Turner. Come on.
Why isn't it working? You need more blood.
Get on with
Idiots.
Hurry.
You there! The medallion! After them, you ingrates!
So yeah, it seems William has picked up a bit of the piracy ethics of pretty much being a shit and betraying everybody you know and love. Well, then again, I suppose he didn't really have much love for Jack Sparrow to begin with, so, who cares, I suppose. Anyway, we're off at sea, but, yeah, I'm sure Jack will be alright. He's popular. Well, actually, if I remember correctly, wasn't Captain Jack Sparrow meant to be, like, the breakout character of the movie that people didn't expect to be popular? I mean, I'm still trying to remember my, because, I mean, I know Johnny Depp was at least a pretty sought-after actor by this point. I mean, he already had, Edward Scissorhands, Nightmare on Elm Street, and, fuck, what else was it? No, I don't think he was in Mars Attacks. He was in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas before this, I think, so, yeah, he already had a pretty big reputation as an actor, so, I don't know, I guess maybe Orlando Bloom was meant to be the initial draw, but then Johnny Depp's performance just sort of charmed audiences, and slowly he sort of became the main focus of the movies. I don't know, it's kind of odd how some characters can break out organically like that based on the performance and, others fall by the wayside. Anyways, let's go back to Port Royal and just, forget about Captain Jag in the box. And, yeah. Sometimes drawing out some of the pirates in the scenario can be a little bit, pish, but again, it shouldn't be too bad, and, honestly, you are better off fighting the pirates, because, you know, get a little bit more extra experience, and, I don't know, the combat of Kingdom Hearts 2 is satisfying, man. Although, alternatively, if you're a bit too much of a cow, you can actually run back into the hold and pretty much arrive at your destination regardless, so, I mean, you can try that. I've never done it myself, personally, because, I want that tasty EXP. But now it's for a cutscene. Oh, yeah.
True? You gave Barbossa my name instead of yours. Why choose my name?
I don't know.
Elizabeth, where did you get that?
It's yours. From that day we found you. Drifting at sea.
After all this time, I thought I lost it. It was a gift from my father. He sent it to me.
I'm sorry.
Why did you take it?
Because I was afraid that you were a pirate. That would have been awful.
Of course. Don't you see? It wasn't your blood they needed. It was my father's blood. My blood. The blood of a pirate.
How the blazes did you get off that island, Jack?
When you sailed away in my ship and marooned me on that godforsaken spit of land with naught but a pistol and a single shot, you forgot one very important thing, mate. I'm Captain Jack Sparrow.
I won't be making that mistake again.
Then what say you to putting the past behind us, untying these ropes, and letting me negotiate the return of your medallion, eh? What say you to that?
Seeing as how the Black Pearl's mine now, Jack, letting you go doesn't seem to fall within my interest.
Odd. I'm not actually concerned with your interest. Give me back the pearl!
Arr. All right, lock him in the brig.
We're coming up on the interceptor. What do we do, Captain?
What do you think, you idiot?
Will, look!
What now? I wonder what Jack would do.
I'm not sure. I suppose he'd run for it.
Sounds good to me.
Will!
Everyone hit the deck!
We're just gonna have to fight.
Arr, Sora, that be the piratey way. God, there's something about this music that just gets you all pumped up and ready for pirately action. But again, as you can probably tell, our heroes seem to be a little bit outmatched, even though Sora's got so many magical abilities that could almost completely outclass these pirates. They got death magic. And yeah, this is pretty much a mandatory battle. No escaping this time. But yeah, basically you're also using the cannons to fend off some of the pirates. And yeah, basically you gotta make sure you keep the medallion, because otherwise you fail. So yeah, don't get hit, otherwise you lose the medallion, and well, you're basically gonna get a game over screen courtesy of, oh no, Sora folds his arms and therefore, I don't know, you just lose, because it's just like, nah mate, you lose, I can't let you win, nah mate. In that exact tone of voice. But yeah, it's pretty much a survival round at this point. You do get tons of experience for it though, so it is well worth your time. Dun 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 dun. Epic pirate battles with Sora and the crew. Look at these particles fly off the models.
Come on! We beat the pirates!
Well, did you now, Daddy?
Jack!
Now then, I'll be having back that medallion.
Holy shit, look at those PS1 looking pirates back
Unless
there.
it's more important than their lives.
Barbossa! She goes free.
Go ahead, boy, shoot. We can't die.
You can't.
But I can. My name is Will Turner. My father was Bootstrap Bill Turner. His blood runs in my veins.
Aye?
On my word, do as I say, or I'll pull this trigger and be lost at Davy Jones' locker.
Name your terms, Mr. Turner.
Release Elizabeth, and Sora, and Donald, and Goofy too.
Anything else?
Leave, now!
Agreed. Leave we shall. But the Heartless stay.
No fair!
Oh no! A situation of bootlegging performance. Will Sora, Donald, Goofy, Captain Jack, and Elizabeth Swann escape? Will the ship be destroyed in an army of explosive beer kegs? Find out next time, same channel.